Hey guys, and welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. If you ever owned an ATARI LYNX, you ever played an ATARI LYNX, yes, you would know this soundtrack, you would know this logo. This is California Games and it is epic. So we are getting the ATARI LYNX core by OpenFPGA for the Analogue Pocket, right? So this is being brought over by Bud 2, and this is based on an original MiSTer core by Robert Peip. And it even has screen filters, guys. So if you want to play it the normal way, you can play it the normal way. You can play it with different Game Boy LCD display filters. You can use the Sony Trinitron filter, or if you really want to go crazy, you can actually use the red filter on it, guys. This core is amazing. So this is currently a work in progress. Everything you're seeing here isn't reflective of the final product, but I've spent the morning with this, and guys, I've had a real blast. Like, I think it's fantastic, and all the games feel like they did back in the day when I played it on the ATARI LYNX, right? I kind of wanted to start with this demo because this is very iconic, right? And California Games had 4 different game events in there. Let's have a look at my favorite game on here. Let me know what your favorite game in California Games was out of the 4 that was available, but my one is coming up. Did you guess it, guys? Yes, it's surfing. Right now, arguably this is the best surfing game I've ever played. In fact, it is the best surfing game I've ever played. I'm not really into surfing games, and I absolutely smashed this on the ATARI LYNX. I have a lot of history with the ATARI LYNX. So if you're a regular on the channel, I always refer back to my uncle who had like an ATARI ST, and I used to go around his house and play games on his ST, right? When I had like an ATARI 800 or a Commodore 64. Now, he was a big ATARI fan, so naturally when the ATARI LYNX came out, he got it, and he actually gifted a couple of my cousins the ATARI LYNX, right? And every summer we used to spend like weeks around my cousin's house, and we played a lot of ATARI LYNX, and this was definitely a favorite. I honestly can't remember if I ever owned an ATARI LYNX, but I definitely played it a lot because as kids, you know, we hung out a lot as cousins. And if you haven't tried out California Games, the surfing in there, it is top tier. It still holds out, and yeah, even after years of not playing it, I was still having fun, but occasionally I do get myself wiped out. So you may not know this, right, guys, but the ATARI LYNX had some really good arcade ports, right? So I knew this game, I think I knew it as like Shadow Warriors, but it was called Ninja Gaiden as well, right? So Ninja Gaiden on the ATARI LYNX. Guys, when I played this around my cousins, I was so jealous that I didn't have this for my Game Boy, or this wasn't available to me. I played this game a lot in the arcade, and guys, the ATARI LYNX version is very good. There's some stuff missing, or I can't remember how to do it, but in the arcade version, see like the lamppost there and the bar that's going across horizontal, you could actually like grab that with your arms and kind of do like a two-footed kick on the enemies. One really good move in this was when you jumped up and I tried doing it there, when you jump up and you kind of neck grab them and move them across. It was very reminiscent to movies at the time, stuff like American Ninja. Guys, honestly, I can't wait for this to get a public release. Like, it's fantastic. It just feels great already, and if you've got experience with the ATARI LYNX, you'll go straight down nostalgia lane. Now, if you're playing this like in other kinds of beat 'em ups, you can kind of punch like objects that are in the game, right? And you'll get a power up. But in this one, you need to chuck your enemies at them, or think your enemies can chuck you on top of it, and then it will smash that box and give you some kind of power up, right? So a little bit on this core, there are a couple of bugs in there, nothing major, right? So the different screen modes that you've got in here, whether it's vertical, horizontal, or the flip mode has a little bit of like a line in there that Bud 2 needs to work on removing, and that's something he's aware of. That's something he will resolve before he releases that public release. As well as that, it's got features in there which we'll have a look at, but for example, the fast forward feature, when you use that, you can't use that along with turbo. So if you turn turbo on, fast forward won't work, so you can kind of pick like one or the other. We will have a quick look through the options in just a second. Now let's have a look at Electro Cop, right? I mean, doesn't the title just sound badass? But what we're going to do here, guys, is we are going to turn on the fast forward option, right? So let's stick that on, and then you can have different speeds, right? I've gone for 400%, which, well, runs the game at 4 times the speed. And I'm running the intro here. I've turned the sound off for fast forward, but you can have it on. As you can see, I'm just blasting through here. Guys, I also want to point out, like, if you're watching this video as soon as it kind of came out, I intend to do a live stream later today. If you're watching this a day or 2 after release, then check out the live stream replay, right? Because you can see that replay and where you guys can ask stuff. There's a whole bunch of games on here. We can test more of them out. I'm actually really looking forward to doing that live stream tonight. So a video looking at the core, then a live stream later. But guys, this is Electro Cop. Playing this on the ATARI LYNX, I personally felt this was way ahead of its time. Those big beefy sprites. But what I'm going to do in a second here, I'm trying to time it with a voiceover. over, but I am going to run fast forward as I run through the game. And if you're playing a game where you're faced with a long cutscene or a bit you want to get rid of, you can apply fast forward like I did over there. I don't recommend doing it during gameplay unless you're absolutely crazy and the game just moves really, really fast. But Analogue Pocket is a game I recommend. I remember playing this as a kid, and guys, it's good, and I feel like the LYNX does hold up well today. I'm dead. Some of you may remember this game. So this game here is called Hard Driving, right? And the frame rate is so low on this, I thought I will go into options and just go FPS overlay. And I think it's running at like crazy, like 4-6 frames a second or something. It is just insane, right? So this is Hard Driving. Apparently, if this game is played at a decent frame rate, it is apparently quite good. I think I tried it somewhere where the FPS was boosted, but in this it's kind of slow and sluggish. But I know a lot of people really like this game. And what's really cool about this, right? I just had a crash there and it shows you a replay, man. I mean, that's just fantastic. Let me know if you guys actually played this game, what you kind of thought about it. I know this was a game that people had mixed opinions on at the time, whether they played it on the LYNX or a different format. It was just let down by a very, very low frame rate, right? But we've got good options in this core. Buddu 2 has done an amazing job with the port, and it looks like it's ready for prime time. Just a couple of little things, or a couple of little creases to iron out. Robert Peip, who's an amazing developer, developing this for the MiSTer. We're definitely eating good for the Analogue Pocket with the new cores and the ports that we're getting, right? Things are looking really, really good. Well, I'll tell you what isn't looking good is my driving. Here we have it, guys, the infamous paperboy, right? The boy that gets paid to deliver papers, but he ends up smashing all your windows, right? I mean, I wish if I had the job that was easy. I'd jump on a BMX, I'd dash some papers out, dodge a dog, dodge a fight, dodge a car, and I get paid, right? Simpler times back then. But let me bring something up on screen, right? And this is courtesy of my buddy Big Al. Thank you, Big Al. So Big Al's got the adapter, he's got a whole bunch of LYNX cartridges, and he did me a little video so we can kind of bring that up and just kind of compare it, right? I mean, there's different screen filters on, but you can see both of these do look really, really good, right? So this core's looking good. Analogue with the adapters have done a fantastic job. OpenFPGA just keeps getting better and better. And like I keep saying, guys, I can't wait for you guys to try this and hopefully check out the live stream later today, and I can try any games that were your favorites that you're not seeing in this video, right? What? It's a sound of the police. Okay, I wouldn't actually mind a job as a police officer if all it involved was me actually grabbing 2 cones, right? That was my quota for the day, because I will smash that quota. Guys, this is APB, all points bulletin, right? And you're a cop car bird's eye view. I always have a soft spot for bird's eye view games, and this was very, very interesting. I'll tell you what, I played this back in the day, but I never remember getting very far in this, right? I can't remember. Like, I'm not doing a great job here anyway, but again, this is a good game. It was good at the time, it was fun to play, and what? It's the sound of the police. Who don't like Rampage, right? So Rampage, it came out on a lot of different machines, right? It was a popular game. I guess there was something therapeutic about climbing buildings, eating people, and then punching those big buildings down. So here we have Rampage, guys, and it plays really, really well on the LYNX. Now, I don't remember playing this originally on the ATARI LYNX, but I can tell you that my uncle that I always refer to, he has actually got an ATARI LYNX with a full set of cartridges. I even remember him talking to me like years ago, saying that he didn't want it in the post. He traveled up like very, very far down the country to buy someone's LYNX collection, which had the remaining games that he didn't have. But guys, it's just looking good. Like, Rampage is good, the LYNX is good, and look at this game, right? So yeah, maybe you know, if you've had a stressful day at work and you just want a little bit of chill and you want a bit of therapy, when the LYNX core is out, turn it on, put on Rampage, and you know, smash. And here we have Gates of Zendikon. But what I want to do here, let's just quickly flick through the options. I'm going to talk through each one of them. I just wanted to give you like a visual look at them, right? So here we go. We've got turbo. We've got the FPS overlay that we used during hard driving. So guys, there are options in here, right? And it's a very, very good core. You can use the fast forward that we demonstrated earlier. You've got other options in there that I haven't messed around with too much. Again, I'm going to say, like the live stream, we can try some of this stuff out on there. I'll do it at your request. And again, if you're not watching this video on the release day, you're watching it later, there should be a replay of that live stream up. But guys, what is Gates of Zendikon, right? Gates of Zendikon is fantastic. It is a vertical shmup, and it's something that, I don't know, it was very, very good at the time. I enjoy it. I remember playing it, and what happens is as you sustain hits, so as your ship gets hit, parts of it blow up, so you might end up losing your laser, you might end up losing your bombs, you might lose like your shield. And what happens is when you do the level, you kind of park your ship up and then you grab another ship, right? Again, see, look, I've like you can see the top part of my ship is missing, and I think it's the shield. The shield is the first thing to do to go. I think if I get hit again, I'll actually lose my laser, and all I'll be left with is those bombs. Guys, this game's a lot of fun. Definitely try this out if you haven't done already. If you've played it, then you're gonna get that nostalgia kick from out there. And a lot of games have really, really good soundtrack. Like a little bit of history. Go into a little bit of a history lesson, guys, right? So from what I understand, the ATARI LYNX is a 16-bit 4th generation handheld console made by ATARI. It was released in 1989 in North America, and then in 1990 in Japan and Europe, right? So the USA got it first. So around the time you had like the Game Boy, you had the Game Gear, you had the NEC Turbo Express or the PC Engine GT, and from what I understand, the LYNX was definitely more technologically advanced than those, right? So again, good times, good machine. Really wish like we got more from ATARI. ATARI kind of like disappeared for a while, but the LYNX was a great console. This is another arcade classic, right, called Zybots, right? So Zybots is something I actually played in the arcade, right? I don't know if many people recognize this as an arcade game. I never really heard this being mentioned much. I don't remember this being mentioned much. I really need to slow down when I speak. Guys, so this was in an arcade. When I say it was an arcade, right, there was a place close to where I lived, and it was a gambling den, right? It just had fruit machines in there. And what you had is, in a lot of these places where they were like big gambling houses, they would sometimes have like a random arcade machine, right? A random arcade game, like maybe one or two of them. This place in particular, I can tell you exactly where it was, right? It was on Seven Sisters Road near the junction of Hornsey Road, if you're familiar with North London, right? So there was a gambling den in there. And when you went in there, the only game they had in there was Zybots, and that's the only place I ever saw it. And I used to like playing it, right? I can't remember if it had a twisty stick where you can rotate your player by twisting the stick. Let me just talk about this. Like in between levels, you can go and buy stuff, right? So to an extent, it's got like some RPG elements in there where you can buy different items and power-ups. But right, going back to that arcade, I think it had like a twisty stick that rotated your character. The controls are done really well on the ATARI LYNX, right? Where you hold down one button and you move it left and right and you rotate your character. Moving left and right normally kind of strafes you, right? So sometimes when you're getting into a corner and you might want to change your direction first, so when you get into that corner, you're facing the direction of any potential enemies. But this is a game that is very, very special to me. I played it in the arcade, and having this on the LYNX, I don't know if it came out for any other home consoles or handhelds. It's something that I would like to see an FPGA core of independently, but for now, I'll enjoy the ATARI LYNX version. And when playing this, I had a lot of fun. I ended up playing it for like 20 minutes, and I was like, I need to stop doing this because I need to do the video. And a funny story here, right? A little bit of trivia. I had an earlier version of the core which had the incorrect aspect ratio. So as I shot the video and I was just about to finalize anything, guess what? Buddu2, the core developer, gives me a shout saying I've corrected the aspect ratio. I was like, oh dude, I was just about to put the video out. So then I had to go back in, refilm the whole thing. And I'm glad I did that because it really does look good with the correct aspect ratio. But that's it for this video, guys. Like I said, if you're watching this when this video is fresh, there'll be a live stream later. If not, catch the replay. A massive shout out to Buddu2 for porting this core over. A massive shout out to Robert Peip, the original developer of the MiSTer core. If you want to support Buddu2, I'll leave his Ko-fi link in the description of the video. We've got amazing developers, both for MiSTer, both for the Analogue Pocket, people that have made cores for the MiSTer, and then amazing people that are porting those cores over. It's a great community. The FPGA gaming community is a great community. Analogue Pocket is absolutely awesome, and we're just getting more and more cores. So if we look at the adapters that you can buy from Analogue, Neo Geo Pocket Color Cord, that should be out in a few days if all goes to plan. We've already got the monochrome one on OpenFPGA. Then the PC Engine adapter that's available, yep, we've got a core for that. The Game Boy cores we've got, and a Game Gear core we've got. So all the adapters that you can buy from Analogue, and you can buy cartridges or flash cards, well, it looks like the OpenFPGA cores for all of those will be with us very, very shortly. Anyway, guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, then hey, a subscription and I like it super duper appreciated. I also have a Patreon set up if you would like to financially support the channel. Anyway, be absolutely awesome to one another, guys. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.